My name is Alina, and if you had asked me a year ago, I would have told you my family was my biggest blessing. We weren't perfect, no family ever is, but we loved each other. At least, I thought we did. That illusion shattered the day they gave me something I never expected, and then ripped it away as if it meant nothing. A house. A place I thought I could finally call mine. And when they forced me to return it, I realized the truth. Sometimes even your family can treat you like you're disposable. The dream gift. It all started on my birthday. I had just turned 24. Everyone was gathered, my parents, my brother, my aunt, and uncle. The dining room was decorated, laughter was spilling across the table, and for the first time in months, I felt seen. My dad tapped his glass, smiled in that serious but playful way he always did, and said, "Alina, you've worked hard, you've been through tough times, and today we want to show you how proud we are." I didn't understand what he meant until Mom slid an envelope across the table. I opened it with shaking hands, expecting maybe a check or a sweet letter, but inside was a deed. The deed to a house. My jaw dropped. Everyone clapped. My aunt hugged me. My brother smiled in that half-forced way of his. And my parents beamed like they had just given me the world. A $50,000 house, mine, just like that. I cried that night. Tears of joy. I'd been struggling for years, juggling jobs, trying to keep my head above water. And here was my family swooping in, giving me stability. A home, a foundation. At least, that's what I thought. The first few weeks were magical. I walked through those rooms imagining where I'd put my bookshelves, how I'd paint the kitchen cabinets, what kind of curtains I'd hang. I even started dreaming of inviting friends over, having little dinners, maybe even adopting a dog. But then the phone calls began. "Alina, don't forget," Mom said one evening, "the house isn't really yours. It's still part of the family, so don't go making any big changes without checking with us." I frowned. "But the deed?" Dad cut me off. "We gave it to you because we trust you, but it's still family property. You understand, right?" I nodded, but something inside me shifted. Still, I tried to ignore it. Maybe they were just being protective. But then came the favors. My brother, Ethan, started crashing at my place because it was closer to his job. Then he began inviting his friends, leaving beer cans everywhere, treating the place like a frat house. When I confronted him, he smirked. "Relax, sis. It's not really your house anyway. Mom and Dad said it's for the family." Those words stung more than he knew. The breaking point. It all came to a head 3 months later. I had just spent the weekend painting the living room. Soft blue, calming, my dream color. When my parents saw it, their faces hardened. "Why would you do this without asking?" Dad demanded. "Because it's my house," I said quietly. Mom's voice turned cold. "We didn't give you that place so you could do whatever you want. We expected you to respect us." Respect. That word hit me like a knife. Wasn't I respecting them? Wasn't I grateful? I swallowed hard. So, was it ever really mine? Silence. Then Dad said the words that broke me. "Alina, we've decided you need to return the house. It was a mistake."
I couldn't believe it. Return it? After I had poured my heart into it? After I had finally started believing I had a place of my own? But they were firm. They called the lawyer, reversed the deed, and within weeks, the house was no longer mine. I moved back into my tiny rented apartment, staring at the same peeling walls, listening to the upstairs neighbors stomp across the ceiling. My friends asked what happened. I lied. I said I gave it up because I couldn't handle the expenses. I was too ashamed to admit the truth. My family had dangled a dream in front of me and then snatched it away. The confrontation. One night, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I went back to my parents' house, tears burning in my eyes. "Why?" I asked, standing in the living room where I had spent my childhood. "Why give me something so life-changing only to take it back?" Mom sighed. "You weren't ready." Dad shook his head. "You disrespected us." And Ethan, leaning against the wall with that smug grin, muttered, "Told you she couldn't handle it." I lost it. Years of being the good daughter, the peacemaker, the quiet one, it all erupted. I wasn't ready, or you weren't ready to let me grow up, to let me finally have something of my own. You say I disrespected you, but what about the way you humiliated me? What about how you ripped my heart out and called it love? My voice cracked. Mom looked away. Dad's face was stone. And Ethan, he just laughed. That was the moment I knew. They hadn't given me a gift. They had given me a leash. The bittersweet realization. It took me months to process it, to stop waking up thinking maybe they'd change their minds. Maybe they'd call me and apologize. They never did. But in that pain, I found clarity. The house was never about me. It was about control, about showing me that no matter how old I got, no matter what I achieved, I was still under their thumb. And losing it, as devastating as it was, freed me. I started saving again, working harder, building something on my own because I realized I'd rather live in a rented apartment with peeling paint than in a house that came with chains. So here I am, sharing my story. Not because I want pity, but because I know someone out there needs to hear this. If a gift comes with strings attached, it isn't a gift. If love comes with conditions, it isn't love. I lost a $50,000 house, but I gained something far more valuable, the strength to stand on my own. And one day, when I buy my own home with my own hard-earned money, no one will be able to take it away. That day will be mine, truly mine. I shared my story with you, and now I want to hear yours. What would you have done in my place? Comment below, and please subscribe to our channel for more tear-stirring stories.